I'm here with Sir Scoots before all the stuff goes down at MLG, but what I want to talk to you about is not so much StarCraft, because I saw you tweeting about the Olympics all the time. What were you there for?
I was doing event logistics for one of the top sponsors. Kind of my old career that I used to do.
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola, yeah, that I used to do for a living. And it's the one contract I kept because the Olympics is just an amazing experience to be part of, let alone work it and kind of get paid to be there. So
how many have you been to?
That was my seventh. That's my
seventh Olympics.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
7 Olympics and 2 World Cups so far under my belt for that.
Wow.
Very cool.
So what was your favorite part about it? Which athletes did you see?
I got to see a lot of the big stuff. So I got to see Usain Bolt run twice. I was there when his medley team...
Man, I'm so jealous about that.
I was there when his medley team broke the world record, so that was really cool. On the last night, I saw him run the 100 as well. He won, didn't set any records there, and like he just slows down even. Like you watch him, and he's like, once he knows he's won, he just kind of like looks around and like literally like seems like he pulls back. I don't know why. So I got to see that. Got to see a bunch of USA basketball, which was cool, and I got to see a bunch of the beach volleyball. I think one of the coolest things was the USA women playing the USA women for the gold and the silver.
Beach volleyball.
Cool. But going back to StarCraft, one of the coolest things I did do when I was there before the Olympics started, NASL was going on, and I was able to go to the London Barcraft, and those guys were, I'd never been to a Barcraft because, you know, we're generally always at the events, so that was just really cool. You know, we didn't do so well, so a lot of them were ribbing me on our performance, but that it was cool to have beers and eat and like experience what everyone's been talking about for Barcrafts.
You know, like those sports, like the Olympic, for some, like a lot of the women's sports don't really get a lot of viewership in the United States, but when the Olympics comes around, they get like crazy support. Yep. And I think like beach volleyball is one of the ones that like, what was the crowds like? Because I know like women's beach volleyball gets like crazy crowds, and men's beach volleyball like kind of like almost doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very small venue, so they were probably fairly full both sides of it. You know, both every session. But yeah, it's something. I mean, I don't know if it's sexist because you know they're wearing skimpy little shorts or thongs. And maybe just more people equate beach volleyball to a female sport, you know. And again, we've got some really good volleyball players. The Brazilians are really good. And again, they tend to be fairly attractive women, you know. And even in the venue, it's the same kind of thing you see on TV where like the camera, that guy's job is the best job. I'm the guy that zooms in on the girl's butt to do the signal thing, right? How hard is that, right? That's the best job in the world. And they show that in the venue as well.
So give us some behind the scenes stuff. What are some stories about it?
I don't know. I mean,
it's just like a giant party.
Yeah, I mean, what I always tell my friends is like, if you have the ability or the wherewithal to get to an Olympic city during the Olympics, even if you don't get tickets because they are very expensive, do it. You know, because like the idea behind the Olympics is like all politics go away, all discussion about religions and wars and all that disappears for those 2 weeks, and it's about these guys and girls that are the best at what they do, and it kind of works. Like people all get along. Like the people that live in London are generally a very melted like conglomerate of nations, if you will. They're not all Brits. They're from everywhere, and they're not necessarily the nicest people. You know, it'd be similar to throwing the Olympics in New York. You know, people are very much focused on their own shit, but like they all came together. They were all very happy, and their country did really well towards the end. They won a lot of medals, which made them all very excited.
And who was your favorite athlete?
Overall, I mean, I got to give it up for Bolt. The guy is just freaking insane.
Would you Bolt or Phelps?
Well, and I got to see Phelps like win his last gold, and they gave him a special appreciation award that night at the swimming venue. I think Bolt is more charismatic, and he plays to that. You know, with doing all his shit.
You're not gonna give me a politician answer. Pick one of them.
Man, I still got to go with Bolt. I think he's a better entertainer, and I think when you compare the disciplines,
but USA.
I gotta give it up. I mean, again, we dominated the pool again, and he obviously won a bunch more golds, but you can win a lot more golds in swimming because you're competing a lot more.
Yeah, if they had like a backwards race, Bolt would probably win that one.
Yeah, I mean,
backwards 100.
When we were watching the relay, you know, he was like the last position, and he was like literally right in front of us. All the other guys are kind of lined up, and kind of behind them, it's kind of a big screen. They're watching the guys come around. Most of them are kind of doing this, getting ready, and he's literally fully turned around, and he's like watching. And then he goes, oh, he's turning the corner. Okay, hang on a second. And then he gets ready. Like he's like not a care in the world, and maybe that's why he's so good.
You gotta have a certain ego to be a sprinter, just like in StarCraft. Yeah. You gotta have an ego to be a good player. And
he's got it, you know, but it works for him, and he didn't. And I guess another reason why he would be my guy is he didn't have a good year beforehand. You know, his teammates were beating him at all the other tournaments. You know, Johan and all those guys. So, and I think Phelps' legacy is a boatload of medals, but in a sport that he enters a lot of different, you know, things that can give you a lot of medals. Everything Bolt entered, he won, right? It's pretty baller. And set world records and Olympic records and all that along the way. And he's not done yet, so.
So back to StarCraft briefly.
Yeah.
What are your expectations for this?
It's a tough one. You know, we're in both tournaments, as you guys are. I gotta say, like even Anna was interviewing me earlier. I think your boy Teja is the one to beat. You know,
yeah.
he's
shown some cracks in the armor, though.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's all right. You know, you learn more when you lose. You know, and I think he's. And the fact that groups don't eliminate you, they're just for seeding, you know, all those kind of things. I think
he's got to play the open bracket guy. It's
yeah,
like actually kind of harder.
That is true. That is true. But I just think he's the one to beat. You know, he's coming off a really good run of either winning or doing quite well, right?
And what do you think about this stuff that happened overnight? All the
the Kespa stuff. You know, I'm not even like a StarCraft guy like you all are, right? I'm a Counter-Strike guy, but even back then we would hear these stories of Kespa like being this iron-willed, like our way or the highway kind of organization over there, right? And then obviously, you know, everyone all of a sudden thinks they're going to change their stripes overnight, right? And they were all very happy that they were all talking over there, and their MLG's doing stuff with Kespa. And then this is like shades of old Kespa, right? This little strong arm. Oh, our guys aren't going to play. Then they at least now. Someone pushed back, and the other organizations were able to say, okay, well, we're not going to play in your event, and they had to kind of reel a little bit.
We'll see.
We'll see. Your tweet was good. It's like, I'll wait till they're in the boost, right? Yeah. But at least, you know, years ago, they would have been like, okay, whatever. You know, they would have no one to even push back against them, right? So, I don't know. I mean, I like having lots of organizations all in the space because they grow it all up. But if one just tries to strong arm, you know, the Korean scene, for example, I don't think that helps us. And I don't think it helps them at the end of the day, at this point.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing over there, but we need to make one of those videos that's like, what if Kespa ran the world? Oh, like a parody video?
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
You guys should do that.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
You don't want to get in trouble with the big dark overlords
I don't
either.
want. I'm just here to report the news. Do some funny interviews.
I mean, like I said, it was nice to see them change and kind of backtrack on it. But again, like we'll see if
they backtracked on it, but that's just to get them to play in the OSL. Then we'll see if they actually play in GSL 5.
If they show up or something, like you said, B teamers maybe show up instead and not the top guys.
Or like, yeah, the top guys have scheduling conflicts or whatever.
Or choose not to compete.
Yeah, something like that. But GSL can screw them over and just say like, hey, okay, fine, we'll seed them into up downs or something.
Yeah.
And then, okay, well, good luck to your guys this weekend, and you know, I'll see you maybe at the stuff afterwards. We can talk more about the Olympics.
By all means.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
All right.